Elijah Peterson rode slow. He always did now. Once he'd ridden like a man with a destination, someone to meet, something to earn, a life still unfolding. But those days were gone, dried up like the riverbed behind him. What remained was the steady rhythm of hooves, the quiet breath of his aging mare Lucy, and a grief that no longer cried because it had learned silence too well. He wasn't a lawman, wasn't a hunter, and no longer anyone's husband. Just a man with broad shoulders, calloused hands, and eyes dulled by loss. Lucy stopped before he asked her to. The air felt wrong, too still, too burnt. Elijah dismounted and moved forward slowly. Sage brushed his legs. Then he saw it. A wagon torn apart, canvas flapping like dead skin, wheels shattered, bodies scattered in careless violence. He didn't count them. The silence told him enough. Raiders, maybe worse. He moved carefully, listening more than looking. Then he heard it, a breath that was barely a sound. Behind a scorched wagon wheel lay a woman, curled beneath a fur-lined cloak. Ash streaked her face. Blood matted her hair. One gloved hand twitched weakly, clinging to nothing. She was alive. Elijah lifted her gently, surprised by how light she was, as though grief had already taken most of her weight. Her head rested against his chest, warm and fragile. He didn't look back as he rode west. His cabin stood alone beneath cottonwoods 5 miles from anywhere. He had built it with his own hands after. Mary died, back when building something felt like fighting back. He laid the woman on the cot, cleaned her wounds, wrapped her hands, and watched her breathe through the night. She woke slowly the next morning, eyes wide with confusion. "Don't try," Elijah said softly. "You're safe." She didn't speak, just nodded. When he asked her name later, she hesitated. "I don't remember," she said. It was a lie, but he didn't press. Everyone had their reasons. For days she slept, ate little, and spoke less. Once she cried silently, staring at the ceiling as if watching ghosts pass. Elijah never asked why. By the 3rd morning, she stood at the doorway, wrapped in his coat, staring at the prairie. "I needed to see the sky," she whispered. "To know the world still turns." "It does," he said, "whether we ask it to or not." She looked at him then, really looked. Her eyes held both ruin and something noble beneath it. "I don't know who I am now." "Then don't rush it," Elijah replied. "Let it come when it's ready." Something quiet passed between them. Not love, not yet. Just trust, thin as a thread, but real. She stayed. They settled into a rhythm without naming it. He chopped wood. She gathered kindling, he hunted. She learned to clean game with shaking hands that grew steadier each day. One afternoon, he came home to the smell of bread. It was burnt at the edges, imperfect, but it tasted like belonging.